出た後ろも。うん、見て見て。
あ、
ね。
もう全然違う。
素敵。
一応もうライブはちょっと今スタートしてます。画面は出してないですけど。
はい。
華やかです。
華やかになりました。
今声が入ってます。
I don't have the live Instagram in this phone, in my personal phone, so I cannot see the questions.
あと2分です。
We need, but not the French. We need the English one.
English one.
Okay. In your personal phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone doesn't know what to say, just save them, I guess, as well.
So maybe to explain a little bit the differences between the two.
No, I mean it for the questions.
The ones that we already have, I think she means, the Q&A.
No, the one that they are
Oh,
going to
oh,
be
sorry, the
posting
ones that are
on,
coming, yeah.
これちょっと落とすけど大丈夫。
Take a deep breath.
I'm gonna put it on.
いやでも
これもジャパニーズスタイルだよね。スモールファン。
韓国と日本。
I don't have my work phone here, John.
あと1分です。
あと1分です。
Can I use your phone to see the questions?
で順番で
Yeah, we just pass the.
まあ別に順番取りじゃな
Well,
くて。
yeah, I'll use my phone as well. I can just look. Oh, that's good.
Instagram ISI
Yeah.
向こうで一緒と音声チェックして
I'm on the English one, I mean the Ian one right now, so just go into him. I'm sure the live will pop up in here. For the
最初
Q&A,
は
I
多
didn't
分みん
have.
な入ってこないからね。
Okay.
今画面オンにしました。
Oh, we got. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hi.
How are you doing? Here is really hot, especially for us who are wearing a yukata. We wanted to show you a little bit the differences between the two yukata. So, wait, let's go there. So these are typically male yukata, and the main differences is like the length. Like as you can see here, like the woman yukata is really long. So we you need to
Bend
number
over
here and start with the obi.
And the OB also have a normally
This is also one of the differences. The male yukata obi is really only has 2 or 3 types of knots, while the one there
And also, I think one of the more
visible differences are
is the pattern.
The pattern.
Normally, the girls' ones are more colorful and many patterns like flowers, hanabi, fishes, like a lot of Japanese summer styles designs, while the men's are always more like gray, dark blue, black.
with really simple
pale.
patterns. And this
Yeah.
one maybe is more like modern,
Colorful.
but yeah, usually it's more plain colors and plain.
And you might not be seeing right now, but also typically
Yes.
we will use these kind of shoes that are called, what are they called? Geta. Yeah. So,
Connected.
yes, please, I cannot bend, obviously.
Okay, so these are men geta. These are women geta. So you can see the shapings.
Yeah, I know they look small, but they should small. Like your feet shouldn't fit completely inside the
Yeah.
Geta. A little bit should be over, so it's not the most comfortable shoes to walk, honestly.
Yes.
But I mean, for you guys, I will do it. So yeah, it's really cute. It's really cute, and it's not as hot as I might seem. I mean, right now it's hot, people, but it's not as like wearing it. It's not as hot as it might seem because the fabric is light, and things, so
It's
you
really
can survive.
Yeah, it's really nice to wear it, especially during the night for Matsuri. And
Hanabi?
that typical Hanabi.
And no, don't forget your fan.
Ah, yes. Like, you will need it if you wear a yukata.
This will save your life in summer. Not only if you wear yukata, but on a daily basis.
Oh, your Japanese summer is really hot and really humid. So even if you take 5 showers a day, you're gonna be so sweaty.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna begin with
Okay.
the topic of the day. So
Stop it for the day.
you remember us?
Oh.
Felix,
Hi,
John,
I'm Felix.
Hi, I'm Johan.
Stan.
Adriana, Nana. Yeah.
I don't know
Me.
where to put this.
Only, I wasn't there in the first live, but yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
And guess where they have the most beautiful festivals here in Japan? Obviously in Kyoto. And we are still accepting applications for January term for Kyoto. So we can still do all the necessary paperwork if we have your applications by the end of the next week, by September the 22nd. And we've also opened applications for the April term for all our schools, 4 schools in Tokyo, 1 school in Kyoto, 1 school in Nagano, and we also have a new school in Osaka. And we are also accepting applications for the new school in Osaka with a start in April. And I think my colleagues are going to say a few words about our new school in Osaka.
Yeah, so we'll be opening the Osaka school in April, and it'll be offering our general academic Japanese course. So it's suitable for anyone, especially for people that are interested in going to university or just interested in learning more general Japanese. And for location, we can't say exactly where it is yet, but it's going to be in a very central area of Osaka, right? So location-wise, it's going to be really good. And I mean, it's a picture of Osaka. You'll be near to places like this, the iconic parts of Osaka, like the Running Man on here. More iconic faces. And yeah, well, we're going to be announcing the location on our Instagram soonish, so please check it out. And yeah, we'll let you know on there.
Yeah. And regarding also the school, like type of class, as Felix said, it will be similar to the school in Kyoto, and we will also offer share house, guest house, and accommodations like in the Kyoto school.
Yeah, with student accommodation as well. So so it's good.
So, but if you don't want to wait until April to enroll in our school, we have exciting news for you all. We have finally, after 4 years, the winter course this January. Yay! So we're gonna talk about a little bit. So if you allow us, I'm sorry, my movement.
Okay, just to show you the calendar of the winter course. So it's possible to choose between 4 weeks or 2 weeks. So the 4 weeks program will go from January 29th to February the 23rd. And for the 2 weeks program, you can choose between from January 29th to February the 10th, or February the 13th to February the 23rd. And please mind that the school will be closed in the national holidays, so there won't be class or activities after class, but except for February 23rd. That is the last day of the program. And what else? Then the classes will gonna be from 8:50 to noon, and every day is gonna be some activities. Like for example,
You can go skiing. Like and don't worry if you have never skied in your life. We're gonna have beginners, intermediate, and advanced level ski, so you don't have to be worried about it. You just have to let us know what's your level, and we'll do the necessary arrangement.
About the skiing, please mind that it's possible to rent the ski wear, but not the gear. So you would need to bring your own gear from skiing. And
If you need it, please let us know in advance so we can
of course.
help you out with that.
And then what else? There's gonna be a karate experience or
A samurai experience as well.
samurai experience, and you're gonna meet with Japanese people. And speaking of, it's possible also to apply for accommodation in the student house, and you're gonna have the opportunity to share also the student dorm with Japanese people, so you can practice the Japanese that you learn in class with them.
Also, let's not forget the typical and so also famous winter monkeys in Nagano. You will have to have the opportunity to meet them if you enroll for our fourth week course. Please bear in mind that you're not gonna. This experience does not include getting in the onsen. Just go in there and meet the monkeys, and please be careful with them because they are.
It's their space.
Yeah.
respect
So.
them.
As for the accommodation, we in Nagano we have a huge student dorm, so you can apply for it and stay there, or you can also, of course, have your own accommodation. Just please keep in mind that the homestay is not gonna be possible for this particular course, but the student hat will, and of course your own accommodation as well. So you're just in time. We're already accepting inscriptions, so please let us know if you're interested. So that's for the
Sorry for
course.
covering your beautiful faces.
That's fine.
Thank you, and we've received, as usual, a lot of questions from you guys. Thank you so much. We'll start from some of them. So the first one is, I want to do a 6-month course in Ikebukuro. Does my financial supporter have to show his or her bank balance? Yes, one of the documents that are required is a bank statement from your financial supporter or your own bank statement if you are paying for yourself. And the minimum amount in the account differs slightly depending on which country you are from. It's usually not less, so the minimum amount is 1.5 million Japanese yen for some countries and 2 million Japanese yen for other countries. So you can contact us and we'll tell you exactly how much you need to have in your bank account. Let's go to the next one. Okay. For the career course in Shibuya and Harajuku, how many hours of class is there per day?
So all our courses are 3 hours long. So it doesn't matter if it's the career course or the Japanese regular course or the short term or long term. All our classes are 3 hours long with a 10 minutes break in between. So don't worry, you're not gonna spend all day in the school if you want to like experience Japan. Either if you're a full-time student or just a part-time student. Short-term student. So yeah, if you're in an upper level, you're probably gonna have classes in the morning, and you're in a lower intermediate level, you're gonna probably have classes in the afternoon. But it's always gonna be 3 hours with 10 minutes break.
And another question that we often get is how long our students usually spend on their homework. I know that to you, Yon, you used to be a career Japanese course student. So how long did you spend on your homework?
I would say around an hour every day, because you also have to study the previous things you learn in class, and also you have to complete the issues, the exercise you have. So I would say around an hour.
About 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So you will still have enough time to have your free time to do your hobbies, to do maybe a part-time job if you want.
Yeah, definitely. When I was a student, I was also doing a part-time job. So guys, you really have the time to do all the activities you want. You can also travel in Japan and like have a day trip on the weekend and stuff. So
Okay. We have another question about accommodation. Felix, is it more popular for ISI students to stay in dorms or share houses? And do you help students to find share houses to live in, or are students on their own for that?
Overall, dorm is more popular with students because you get a pretty similar experience of both. Because in the dorm, you'll be living with ISI students, and in a share house, you'll also largely be living with students who come to Japan to study. But most of the students you'll be living with in a share house won't be from our side, so it'll just be a variety of people. Whereas in the dorms, yeah, I guess the benefit is you'll be living with other people on the course. So. Honestly, I lived in the dorms myself when I first got here, so kind of a bit of a biased opinion here, but I would probably recommend going for the dorms. It's just nicer to live with people who are going to ISI as well, because you can ask them about the school, like the schedules, homework, etc. So, yeah, personally, I'd recommend that, but share house is also good. And as for like arranging share houses, yeah, we help you arrange share house. Just message us about it, and we'll talk to you about it. And yeah, when it comes to choosing accommodations, yeah, you can choose share house or dorm, and we'll help arrange both of them, so you don't need to worry about that.
Just one thing, bear in mind that for long-term students, the student house is an option, but for short-term students, those who already live in Japan, those who are coming with a student visa, with a tourist visa, or with a working holiday visa, we cannot guarantee that we're gonna have the option of a student house. Normally, we can't, because it's full of with long-term students. So we apologize for that in advance, but we do have guest house and homestays for you all. So don't worry, we got you covered on the accommodation. So.
But yeah, if you're coming in with a student visa with us long term, then you don't need to worry about that. I'm sure you'll get space in the student accommodation.
Okay. Okay, the next one. Johan, would you answer this one? What do you have to do to become what do you need to do to become a student?
So to become a student, first, you have to send us an inquiry regarding your application, and depending on your nationality and the type of course you wish to join, we will offer you a guidance on how to apply directly, or you can also straight go to the school, talk about your application to the person in front of the lobby, and yeah, we will take your application into account, and we will guide you through the process to join ISI. So for a short-term course, you will only need your passport and to fill like a small form, and for a long-term course, you will need some documents such as your passport, financial certificate, yeah, like a bunch of other documents, but don't worry about that. If you really wish to enroll, please contact us in the first place, and we will guide you through the process.
Okay, we have another question in Spanish, so I think Nana is going to answer this one.
So this question is, ¿puedo visitar las instalaciones para inscribirme? And in English it will be like, can I visit the school and apply there? Sí, I'm going to answer in Spanish first. So, sí, por supuesto, podéis visitar todos nuestros campuses. Tenemos 4 en Tokio, 1 en Kyoto, otro en Nagano, y en el futuro, muy pronto, en abril, en Osaka. Todos nuestros campos están abiertos para que los visitéis. Si tenéis alguna pregunta, nos contactéis a nosotros y sin ningún problema. Eso, tengan en cuenta que durante las semanas de vacaciones es probable que no podamos mostrarles el campus porque está cerrado, pero aparte de eso, sin ningún inconveniente. So, yes, you can visit our campus. You can visit either of our 4 Tokyo campuses or our Nagano or Kyoto campus, and in the future our Osaka campus as well. Just let us know when you want to go, and we will try to arrange it. So yes, of course, feel free to come visit us at any of our campuses.
We are still receiving questions. Could you please, Felix,
yeah, sure.
read some of them?
There was some. Will there be accommodation, in brackets, apartment for married couples?
Okay. Unfortunately, we do not have rooms for married couples or for couples in our dormitories, but we can introduce an how do you call it, real estate agency to you, and they will help you to find a place to live.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could just continue on that.
Okay. So the next one is also about our schools and our accommodation. Is there a shower at any of the schools in Tokyo? Oli, would you please answer this one?
Okay, so inside the school, of course, there is no shower, but of course in our housing like student dorm, guest house, homestay, and weekly mention. There's gonna be a shower for you. And please mind that in most of the accommodation types, the shower and the kitchen, they're always shared. So for example, in the student dorm, in the guest house, and in the for homestay, you're gonna share the house with the family. So everything's gonna be shared except your room. And the only option for you for to have a kitchen and a private kitchen and a private toilet, a good shower, is the weekly mention that is only available in Tokyo, and it's usually only short-term students choose this option, which is it's really similar to a hotel room. So, but to reply to the question, yes, there is showers, but not inside the school, just in the.
I mean, you have the normal toilets in the
Yeah.
And we have actually different kinds of student houses. So in some of them, they're divided into A type, B type, and S type. And for some of them, for the new one, which we call S type accommodation, you are going to have your private bathroom. So you will have your own. The number of rooms is pretty limited, so you will have to apply for that one, and we cannot guarantee that there will be a room available at the moment when you apply. But if we have a room available, we will be happy to provide you with a room with your own private toilet and shower.
Yeah. And I would like to add something regarding accommodation. Usually for the application process, you have to wait around like 2 months before the beginning of the course, and you have to apply through our student platform called Campus Mate J. You will have the login and the passport a bit further after your COE application, but it's the only way to apply for it.
Okay, let's see. How was it like when you first got to Japan? Were you nervous? Any difficulties? That's a good question.
Nice question.
Would like to start about your first time in Japan.
Felix.
I mean, one thing I struggled with when I first got here was, to be honest, like the documents and stuff. Like, you get like a residence card when you get here, and you need to register at the town hall. I was so confused about these things. But they're on the first day when you get to school, they will actually guide you through this. There'll be like a presentation just helping you with like introducing you to healthcare and what to do with your student card and stuff. But the documents when I first got to Japan really confused me. You get sent quite a lot of documents in Japanese, so be prepared.
And the octopus is showing.
Octopus is showing you.
Personally, when I arrived in Japan, it was not as complicated as Felix because I was in a homestay family. So the family was really nice to me, and they helped me a lot with the papers. But like Felix, most of my problems came from that because you have a lot of things to prepare when you arrive regarding the gas, regarding like everything. And I would say the papers, but how to say, if you really worry about that, don't worry. When you come in the first week on the school, you will have like orientation when the school will explain everything to you regarding the healthcare, regarding the bank account. So please don't worry about that.
Okay.
What about Nana? Do you have something you want to share?
Like my experience was a little bit different because I became a student after living here for quite some time. But more than I guess the moving process, when you move from one neighborhood to the other, you need to go to the post office, register your new address, go to your government work office to say that you're moving out, and then go to the new work office to say that you're moving in. So the process is it can be confusing, and also you have like 2 weeks to do everything. So it can be tiresome and confusing, but nevertheless it's doable. And like normally they have, even if they don't speak English, they have some kind of English explanation documents in every word. And maybe beside that, I think it's hard. Well, I guess coming from Latin America, for me it was hard to get used to how safe was the train and that you can actually sleep in the train, and seeing people sleeping in the train and being so quiet, for me that was like, it took me time to get used to being so relaxed in the train. But I'm a pro now. I can sleep there. I can study. My favorite time probably.
So for me, it was also a bit different because the first time I came in Japan as a student was actually short-term course, so like a 10 weeks course. And the first time as well as Johan, I used to live with a host family that helped me a lot to get used to the new culture. They made me experience so many things like food, and it was really helpful for the language. Like I could improve a lot in those 10 weeks. And I'm still in contact with them. So like with some host families, it's really nice because like you can make like connections, like lifelong connections. So I always recommend doing homestay.
And by the way, we can arrange a homestay for you. So if you want, we can always arrange for any period of time. So just let us know.
Homestay is a very good experience.
We have got a question coming in about where was it?
I think we got back.
Yeah, someone asked about a bank statement. No, they said do they request a bank balance statement?
Yeah.
And yes, they do. Immigration want to see it when they give you a visa. So it's not it's typically not too difficult. You only really need to show like a screenshot of your bank, usually like a digital one. But for some countries as well, they do like to see like a year-long bank balance statement. It really depends. Contact us and we'll tell you how much you need to give them.
Yeah, the bank balance is also for the student visa applicants. If you want to come for a short time, for a 10-week course, 4 weeks, 1 month, if you already live in Japan, if you already have a visa because you're a Japanese citizen, and you don't need a student visa, you don't need to show us bank balance. All we need, like Johan said before, is your passport and the registration form. So.
In the end, it's immigration who's interested in your bank balance.
Yeah.
We're not us.
So we want you to understand that we are required to collect all those documents and submit them to the immigration office. So it's not our requirements, but rather requirements from the immigration office. So there are some requirements that there is nothing we can do about. So we just hope for your understanding.
Hence why you need it only for a student visa, as I now said. For non-student visas, it's not a problem.
Okay. What else do we have?
I think there is one more question.
Oh, okay, another question. Let's see. Oh, so no problem. Sona Stama. Hello, how are you? What about work permit? The paper should be done. Arrivals at the airport or town office. He means the permission to work.
We're going to send you it in advance, so you'll have the form. It's really easy to fill in. Basically, your nationality, your name, your birth date, and that's about all. You sign it, you put the date, and that's all. And you will have to hand it over to the immigration officer at the airport upon arrival. And they are going to put a stamp either on your residence card or your passport. And that would be enough. That means that you already have the right to do a part-time job up to 28 hours a week. That's important. So you cannot work more than 28 hours a week. If you forgot to fill in the form, or you forgot to hand it over to the immigration officer, it's still possible to do it later, but you'll have to go to the immigration office, and the whole procedure is going to take more time. So I would strongly recommend to do it right on arrival.
Yeah, I actually forgot to do it on arrival, and I did it at the school instead.
Bad example.
It's a bad example there, and I had to wait like nearly a month to get permission to work. If you do it at the airport, you get it immediately. But if you don't do it at the airport, you have to wait a while. So please, do it at the airport if you want to get a part-time job. It's a pain.
And please bear in mind that permission to work is only for students visa holders, or if you have a working holiday visa. If you come as a tourist, you are not allowed to work in Japan.
It's strictly prohibited.
So please be careful. Like there is no way a person that come with a student visa Student visa can work. So please don't forget it and don't get confused because it can be very dangerous. Immigration can get really serious with it, and you might have problems later on if you engage in any work here in Japan while you are with a tourist visa.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. How do I choose between Shibuya, Harajuku campuses for business Japanese? Yon, what do you think?
Yeah, it's difficult to answer because I was in Harajuku, but both of the schools offer basically the same program, the business Japanese course. It really depends on what you prefer. For Shibuya, the school is a bit bigger and it's newer since it opened in April. But I would say the teachers in Harajuku are here since longer, so they might offer you like more advice. But overall, no, I don't.
But remember, he's from Harajuku.
Yeah,
It's a bias.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Overall, it's really the same thing. The only thing that really changed is the fact that Shibuya school is a bit bigger and newer. That's all. Yeah.
There is another advantage of the Shibuya campus is that it's close to the Shibuya station and
Yeah,
there are like
also.
more lines.
Yes.
So in terms of access, and it depends on where you are going to live. So if you already know where you're going to stay, you can do a little research and find out which campus would be more convenient in terms of access.
Yeah. Also, I think it depends on the line that you take. If you take the Fukutoshin line, I think it's better to go to Harajuku since you can get out in Meiji Jingumae station. But if you take the JR Yamanote or like a bunch of other lines, I recommend Shibuya since it's to be closer to the station. So,
And they're also different in like the interiors, the design. So you can have a look at the pictures we have on our website. And if you contact us, we can send you some more pictures and videos of the campus so that you can have a look and decide for yourself.
If you check our social media, our Instagram, the French one, the Spanish one, the English one, we normally have a reel about the school that you can see the classroom and the building itself. So please check it out.
And we have a separate Instagram account for the two Kare Japanese schools for Harajuku too. So please check.
Yes, it's called ISI Japanese Career, I think.
Yeah, ISI Japan.
ISI Career, yeah. And on this account, you can check the school designs, like videos of the school. So, yeah, please have a look.
We have one more question about the career course. How many terms are there for 1 year career course?
So you will have 2 terms of 4 terms. Sorry, each term is like 3 months. And in Harajuku or Shibuya, you can only choose to do 1 year or 2 years. So yeah.
Actually, the official, like the maximum length of the course is 1 year or 2 years. But the tuition fees are charged on the semester basis.
Yeah.
So, like technically, you can do any number of semesters. One semester is 6 months. So you can do 1 semester, which is half a year.
Yes.
2 semesters, which is 1 year. You can do 1 year and a half, and you can do 2 years. And you won't need to pay for the remaining semester. So only for the number of semesters that you actually studied with us.
Yeah.
Okay. When will ISI help with registration, health insurance, opening bank account after arrival?
Yeah. When you will arrive in the school on the first week, you will have, as I said earlier, an orientation. And in this orientation, you will have videos on how to open a bank account in the Japanese Post, how to go to the ward office and register your address. So yeah, you will have guidance from the teachers, and also you can ask the lobby anytime, and they will offer like support on the application process. So yeah, you really have help from the scratch.
And we have English-speaking staff in every campus, so please feel free to ask them.
Yeah.
Okay, the next next one. Tell us more about scholarships. Okay. Unfortunately, we are a private Japanese language school, so we do not provide scholarships or any other kind of financial assistance. But we do have students who use scholarships, grants, loans available in their home countries. For example, we regularly have students from Sweden using student loans from CSN, I guess that was CSN. We also regularly have students from the States who use student loans. The important thing for student loans is that the money must be already in your account at the time of application. And we've also had students with different kind of grants, also mostly from the States, I think. And in this case, you must be able to submit some kind of official documental proof that you really already received that grant or are eligible or are going to receive that grant. So in any way, we will need to have some documental proof. Okay, let's go on to the next one. What is the entry requirements for the career course? Okay, would you like to?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because Jan is from Harajuku, he knows everything about the career.
Yes, the requirements regarding the career course is a bit different compared to classic general Japanese course. You will need a bachelor's degree, or in French, Bac plus 3, which is like the level equivalent to a license in Europe, and 3 years of education, like university education.
And for the States, you can also enroll with an associate's degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also know that depending on the university, you can have 4 years or 3 years of bachelor's degree, but it doesn't matter. As long as you have the bachelor's level, you will be able to enroll.
And it's also actually not. It is our requirement, but it also has a reason, and the reason is that you can only get a working visa in Japan if you have a degree. So you will be studying with us, you will be doing job hunting at the same time, and as soon as you find a job, you will be able to finish your studies at ISI and convert your visa from student visa to working visa. And that's when your degree will be necessary. So you will need to submit some kind of proof to the immigration office so that they can issue a working visa for you. And since the career Japanese course is mostly for students who are planning to find employment in Japan or start their own business in Japan, that's why we require that you should have a degree. By the time of enrollment, by the way. So at the time of application, you can still be in university.
Yes.
But if by the time of enrollment in ISI, you know for sure that you are going to have your degree, it's also okay. So you can submit not a graduation diploma, but a student certificate, like enrollment certificate, proving that you are a student.
We actually just got a question related to jobs in Japan. Will it be easy for fresh graduates to find a job? So I guess fresh graduates, as in they just finished university, they came here and they're looking for work. Well, actually, in my situation, this was my first job was actually at ISI. So technically, I'm a fresh graduate before I started working here. A lot of companies in Japan actually like to have fresh graduates and train them up themselves. So yes, I do think it can be a good thing sometimes to be a fresh graduate when you come here. Just make sure to if you can. Of course, a lot of companies are going to want you to have a certain level of Japanese to work there. There are also jobs that you can get even if you don't speak Japanese, like teaching English and stuff. But for most of them, you're going to want some Japanese ability. And being a fresh graduate won't work against you much really. You'll be able to find jobs here that want to train you up. So depending on your skills, of course, and your university degree.
And like in any other country, it largely depends on your previous educational background and on your personal communication skills, on how sociable you are, and so on.
The type of work you're looking for.
The requirements might be completely different for different businesses. And we have a consultant, a personal consultant at our Shibuya campus and Harajuku campus. So you will have an opportunity to have several rounds of like face-to-face, how to say, one,
Yeah, counseling.
private consultations, and you can discuss your previous educational background, professional background, what you want to do in Japan. And our advisor, he's a licensed advisor, so he has a certificate from the government, from the Japanese government. And he or she will tell you what kind of preparation you need to do, what your deadlines are, and so on.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one. We have a question about October intake COEs. I guess that for most our students, we've already sent a notification about their COE. So I guess your COE must be ready, and you must have already received it. In case you didn't, just contact us personally, and we'll reply to your inquiry. I think that only for some students who applied relatively late for the Nagano campus, just a few students, the COE hasn't been issued yet, but for most, like 99% of our students, I think it must have already been issued. Okay. And we have a question about our extracurricular activities. How often does the school organize get-togethers for students, and what kind? Is every event voluntary, or do you have to go?
Yeah, it's mainly voluntary. Like for example, when I was in Harajuku, you had different activities like day trip in Disneyland, Yomiuri Land. You had like some calligraphy activity and stuff, but like you're not forced to go. But of course, we encourage you to join and to make some friends in the school, since you will share all this moment with other people, and I really think it's an interesting experience. So yeah, we definitely recommend to join the activities.
It's not mandatory, but it's gonna count as assistance. So if you worry about your assistant record, if you want, because attendance, yes, attendance record, sorry, yeah. So please bear in mind that if you have a student visa, attendance is really important, and it's because it's an activity from the school, even if it's not mandatory, you are asked to assist and attend, and if you don't go, it's gonna be like if you didn't went on a day to class one day. So
it's only on specific events, I think, because for example, when I was a student, the Yomiuri Land, so like the theme park event we went to, that was that was on a school day, right? And it was instead of the day at school. But some events are outside of ours, you know, and that's
of course. I mean, if it's on a school day, you are asked. Of course, you're not obligated to go, but if it's on a school regular day, the attendance is gonna be count on it. And also, it's just a really nice time to bond with your classmates and make friendships and enjoy just not studying inside a classroom, but experiencing Japan.
By the way, what kind of activities did you like most?
Well, I was a coronavirus student, so besides my last year, the only activity I get to enjoy was the Yomiuri Land in December. But besides that, I was a coronavirus student, so I was here studying during the crisis. So of course, mask was mandatory. There is no mask anymore. There was no activity going on during that time of the school. But even though it was hard because we were, we were not allowed to do almost anything outside classrooms. It was fun. Like you can always make the best of times when you want it. So you don't have to be outside if you want to have a good time. But
yeah, but that COVID era is over, so you don't have to worry about it. And we have an extracurricular, like basically it's once a month. So it's once a month. We usually have some kind of, for example, last month I think for Tokyo we went to Kabuki Theater. By the way, I got a chance to go with our students. It was really great. was really great. And it's actually very hard to get a ticket to Kabuki Theater here in Japan. It's rather expensive, but our students in Tokyo got that chance, and it was really, really good, really good. And it was not only watching the performance, they also had some kind of workshop on the stage. It was really great, really great. Okay.
We did get a question. Someone asked, in what school are you in? We're actually not inside one of the schools right now, and also none of us are students anymore, but I went to the Takanababa school.
And I was a student in Harajuku.
I was a student in Takanababa as well.
And we have a different background.
Like we three are graduates from ISI actually, and we got the chance to work for ISI now. But any of us is student anymore. So we are in right now we are in our main building, not main building, in our offices, which is not school. This is just the office, the company office. The schools are separated from us. So, yeah.
Our head office is in Ikebukuro in Tokyo, and we also have one of our campuses here at Ikebukuro station, so it's not very far away from one of our schools. And if you are in Japan, you can always come to our head office. We can schedule a meeting. We would be happy to meet face to face. So please feel free to contact us.
And you might see us in the school sometimes when we go to show the school to our students.
Sure.
And sometimes during orientations we go there. So if you wanna see us, we might be around there sometimes.
You have the chance to meet us.
We do not guarantee that they will be wearing those kimonos.
We'll try our best.
Okay. We have a few questions left. Is there any age limit to study at ISI? I think I'm going to answer this one. So it's a bit different for short-term courses and long-term courses. For short-term courses, there is no, upper limit. There is no upper limit, so you just need to be 16 or older. So then the minimum age is 16, and there is no upper limit. How do you call it? Okay, and for for a long-term course, the situation is a little bit different. You need to be a senior high school graduate to enroll in a long-term course, and there is an upper limit. It's 55 years, so you need to be 55 or younger at the time, actually as of the 1st of April of the year of enrollment. But there are some exceptions. So you can always contact us. So I've had a few students who were elder than 55, and we managed to we had an interview with the principal of the school. So in some cases it depends on your personal situation. So, but the general rule is that you need to be at least a senior high school graduate, and you need to be 55 or younger as of the 1st of April of the year of enrollment.
Yeah, we got a trick question.
We have some personal questions. You all have N1 level. How long did it take you to get it in ISI? That's a good one. It's a question about levels. I think I have some papers here. So actually we have 8 levels. There are 8 levels from complete beginner, which is beginner 1 level, up to advanced 3 level. Advanced 3 level. So we have 2 beginner levels, 3 intermediate levels, and 3 advanced levels. So it's 8 levels in total. And it usually takes 3 months, which is 1 term, to complete each level. So if you start as a complete beginner in 2 years, so it's 8 kakeru 3 multiplied by 3
times
3. So it's 24 months. It's 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you start from not from a complete beginner level, you can start from a higher level if you already have some Japanese language background. So basically, the level beginner 1 is studying N5 material. So it takes 3 months, 1 term, to complete N5 material. Then it takes another 3 months, another 1 term, to complete N4 material. And then it takes another 3 months, another term, to cover N3 material. So it's 9 months to complete N5 to N3. And then there is, N2 is much more difficult than N3. So it usually takes from 6 months up to 9 months to complete studying N2 material. So when you are at level intermediate 3 or advanced 1, you will be able to pass an N2 JLPT exam. And then it will take from 6 months up to 9 months to learn to study N1 material. So it really depends on which level you start from, what is your current level, and what is your experience with JLPT?
As in, what level did I start at?
Oh, how did you learn? Like, what kind of textbooks did you?
Oh, right, of course, yeah. Like every day you learn a little bit about each section. So you learn about kanji, you learn about the grammar, you learn about reading, and you just go through the books at quite a fast pace, but like a doable pace, and you'll definitely learn everything you need to know for the exam. A lot of the lessons, especially on the general and academic Japanese course, are like focused on getting you to pass the JLPT exam. So yeah, it'll make it a lot easier. And I completed an N1 at the end of the course, so it worked for me. And in theory, yeah, you can within 2 years you can go from complete beginner to finishing M1 just within 2 years. So it's good pace, and you can get to M1 pretty quickly.
Yeah, and in my experience, I got the N3 and N2, and how I did that is like I used a book called Matome Nihongo, which have like I don't know how to call that, tanuki. They have like tanuki on it, and it's a really good book if you want to like study slowly, because you can have a lot of different exercise regarding the grammar, the listening, and the vocabulary. So it's a good book that help you to train everything.
But I think it's important to point out that the school will teach you the necessary information that you need to pass, but we cannot guarantee that you're gonna pass the exam, because that depends 100% on you. I did 2 years course, and I have the N2, I don't have the N1 but I did study the material because I did the 2 years. But it's completely up to you how much you study, how much effort you put, and how lucky you are, because one or not is if you're feeling unwell on the day of the exam, you might not perform as good as if you're feeling completely healthy. So please bear in mind that the school will teach you the material, but it's completely up to you to pass the exam. We cannot guarantee that you're going to pass because we are not you. But we're going to teach you the materials that you need to pass it.
And we have another question about JLPT. Is it difficult to get N3 certificate? So as I've already said, if you start as a complete beginner from 0 level, it will take you about 9 months to completely cover N3 material.
And I actually did it in 9 months, and I passed it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
But it was a little bit more challenging pass from the N3 to the N2. It was a little bit more of a challenge than getting to the N3. But the school will 100% give you the education that you need, the knowledge. Knowledge that you need. So it's possible. Like, you need to study, but it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, a new question came through. Can you describe the average day of a student?
Okay.
Well then, it depends on you, obviously, but you'll have 3 hours of classes a day, 5 days a week, and depending on your Japanese level, you either have classes in the morning or in the afternoon. And personally, I had classes in the morning, so I'd wake up and go straight to school, and then I'd be finished at 12, so I have a lot of free time after that during the day. I do a bit of homework, afterwards. I would often hang out with my classmates after school, right, and go out for lunch, and then do the homework then. And after that, you had a lot of free time to explore Japan and just do what you want to do, really, because you definitely have time for a part-time job, and a lot of students do part-time jobs. You have a lot of time to do personal Japanese studying, which I strongly recommend. I think it's a great idea with all that free time in your own time to read books in Japanese, look at stuff online in Japanese, and do Japanese practice. Talk to Japanese people, make friends with your classmates and more Japanese people. But you're free to do what you want, and what I'd like to do as well. I ate out food a lot because it was so cheap over here. So pretty much every day, I went out for lunch, and I went out for dinner most days as well. It was great.
I think in Japan the eating out culture is pretty popular, and it's really normal actually to finish school and go to a family restaurant, and like Gasto or Jonathan's or Danny's, there are plenty when you can have like nomihotai, which is all you can drink for like a very affordable price. And normally you will see a lot of students after classes, even for high school or language school, university, going there, have something to eat and study at the same time, because and in summer it's really comfortable to be there, and in winter because it gets really cold, it's also comfortable to be inside and have your drinks taken care of and use space to study.
I think we also have another question about short-term courses.
Yes, go ahead.
So, is short-term program students common, like only a few weeks? So, it's actually more common than you might think, because especially for the general Japanese course, the minimum course length is 2 weeks. So even people that come here with a tourist visa and they can stay here for a really short period of time, they can immerse in the culture and in the language for a very short time. And as I said, this is for the general Japanese course, so 2 weeks minimum. But for the career Japanese course, is 4 weeks minimum. So just be careful of that.
Okay. I think that's about all the questions that we've received so far. And we are going to have another session starting at 3 p.m. Japan time. So should you have any question that come up your mind, please feel free to join us during our second session. We'll be happy to see you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
And this live is gonna be safe. So if you want to watch it from the start, please go ahead and click on our. Please subscribe. That's not for YouTube. I don't know. Yeah. Please follow us on Instagram. The English, French, Spanish, Italian, Russian. We have in any language. You can, if you have any more questions, you can hit it up in any language, because we, not me personally, but we have many foreigners and this person here, Chaho-san, speak many languages. John speak many languages. Felix speak many languages. So please hit it up and any language that you mind, and we will be more than happy to answer it later at 3 o'clock. Please. Japanese time, yes.
And sorry, we have one more. Can we answer? One more. We've just received another question. Does ISI help you find a job? I heard that they send you some offers through Campus Mate, but I'm curious how helpful they would be, because I'm scared to find a job by my own with hardly speaking Japanese.
You're referring to part-time jobs or full-time jobs?
Part-time job, I think.
Because part-time jobs, it shouldn't be that much of a problem to find a part-time job, and right now that the borders are open again, there are many restaurants that are hiring foreigners because they need people that can speak any other language that is not Japanese. So I wouldn't be that worried, because you just need some basic communication Japanese skills, and you should be able to find a part-time job quite, I don't want to say easily, because it depends in everyone's, but it's not that hard. I mean, I talk for experience. I found a part-time job and I barely speak Japanese when I arrived.
What did you do, by the way?
I work in a Spanish restaurant for couple like I have worked in Spanish restaurant, I have worked in yakiniku restaurants, and in a coffee shop. When I got my level of Japanese got better, I was working in a how do you typical Japanese coffee shop? How is kisaten? Yeah, kisaten. And but yeah, you can. I mean, I start from washing dishes, and then I make my way to serving tables. So if I did it, you can do it because I'm not smart. I mean, I don't want to say I'm silly, but I mean, I'm not a genius. I'm a regular person, and if I can do it, I bet you can do it too.
And also you can find a lot of app that you can download and for the part-time research. And in some of them you can also filter by Japanese level area where you want to work and everything. So it's really useful. I use one of those and I always found.
And there are many.
Yeah, there's many options. So.
And if you're a native English speaker, I think there are a lot of jobs available.
Yeah, with English teaching stuff, yeah, there's a lot of jobs available. It could be teaching at a school, it could be just teaching at like special like English cafes. You could be babysitting children speaking English. You could be just doing private English tutoring, so on and so forth. There's a lot
Actually,
of
do not have
English
to be a native speaker to do like babysitting.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, no.
Because I did it.
Just have like
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
be very well for the babysitting. They
Oh yeah.
more likely that they will prefer females. I don't want to discriminate, but the families more likely will prefer a female babysitting. But yeah, I babysit in Spanish, English, and
Right, okay.
I keep in touch actually with one of the kids because I get really along with them, and she just asks for me, and I go to visit her sometimes.
That's nice.
Okay, but now I think now it's time to say bye bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.
See you.
See you guys. See you later.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.